Hello traders, and welcome to a very special Bitcoin and cryptocurrency morning update. And we see Bitcoin once again above $50,000. We're sat here at $50,270 right now, and things continue to look very good on the Bitcoin chart. So very good news for anyone who is a Bitcoin hodler, very good news for anyone who's an altcoin hodler, and very good news for anyone who did buy this dip and is continuing to hold this trade. Now, I have been reducing exposure on these long positions from the lows here, basically on each high, looking to compound. Got a couple of little compounds in on this, and once again, it's just keep taking your profit, but not really looking for any major swing shorts on this yet. I think price still continuing to look very good. We can see the pullbacks are getting smaller and smaller as we go up, and at the moment this has the potential to be going parabolic right now. And yeah, we do have to be aware, of course, that there is resistance. There is big resistance within this zone up here. But 50k, major psychological. This weekly, massive resistance. This daily level that we're coming up to should be seen as big resistance. But so far, every time we have come into these big resistance areas, it has broken through it with relative ease, actually, in this case. Like, we came into the golden pocket, had a pullback, came into the upper half of it, managed to hold there, and we're still going up higher on this chart right now. So, yeah, be aware that there is, of course, resistance above us, and you don't want to be overexposed into long positions at this point. But I would not be wanting to short this. I would not be wanting to be the person that is constantly trying to time this high unless you're getting in and out very quickly, and unless you know your invalidation and you know the levels in which you are trading. Okay, so everything's still looking very, very good. What we can also do on this, let's pull the fixed range and let's have a look at the whole year. Okay, and we can see just what we have come through on the price action here. So this was a major high volume node, okay, up here, just around this 49,300 area, and the speed in which it's just breaking through and just coming through these levels is yeah, very, very bullish on this price action. And realistically, if we get past this daily level at 31,355, the next resistance isn't until 56,400 on this chart. Okay, this is our yearly point of control. This would be if we do pull this over towards the range as well. If we do have a look at the range that was put in up at these highs, then we have resistance around this same area, this 56, 57k area, to be, yeah, very significant point in the chart that we would need to be looking at getting through before we can think about all-time highs. But what we do have again is another void here on this volume profile, on this fixed range volume profile, that if we can get through, and we have got through this major point of potential resistance on the chart, we don't have a lot stopping us up until these levels higher up now. So yeah, I again would not want to be the one that shorts this constantly. Bitcoin can remain irrational. You may think that it needs a pullback, but it can remain irrational a lot longer than most people can remain solvent. So do not try and time every single high. Wait for confirmation, wait for a change of market structure. You're going to get plenty of meat on a move down if we do get it, but yeah, at the moment, still an uptrend, and looking for longs and trying to quickly scalp shorts if you do see the opportunity to do so. So if we do move into a lower time frame here, we can see that over the weekend. It's typical, isn't it? All this great price action happens over the weekend, and then often during the week it's a little bit more quiet. We had a really nice range that was put in over the weekend. Okay, you can see our highs up here, you can see our lows down here. What we came is we had this little swing failure pattern of these lows, taking out the stops, taking out the liquidity. There we go. And then we had a bounce, and then just held back above this level. Okay, so we had this, take the stops below. For anyone who was overexposed into long positions, take out their stop losses, get the bounce, hold, so you get a little spring, test of spring, and then the next move up out of this here. And once again, anyone that was in short positions and not taking profit, you had one opportunity to take profit on this chart. If you did not take that opportunity, you are now in an underwater position, and this is why we continue to see this moving higher and higher, because it gives you one opportunity to get out or to take profit on a short before moving higher. Back here, one opportunity, okay? And even then, not really an opportunity, didn't take the liquidity down here, but realistically we had a very brief opportunity to take profit on shorts, and these pullbacks are getting smaller and smaller, and the momentum is increasing on this chart. Okay, I do want to go back onto the daily time frame though. I got a little bit sidetracked there on the lower time frames. And for anyone who does like the MACD and the RSI momentum oscillators, we do have this possible quadruple at this stage bearish divergence forming. Okay, and we've seen this previously. We've seen one, you've seen a high, higher high, higher high, higher high, with 1, 2, 3, 4 instances of bearish divergence before we get a change of market structure and it rolls over. Now we're getting that on a smaller scale here. Okay, you can see a high, a higher high, another higher high, and at this stage another higher high, with 1, 2, 3, 4 peaks here on this RSI. 1, 2, 3, 4 peaks, I guess, quite shallow, but here on the MACD. So we do have this possibly playing out, but at the moment you can see here, we look at the trend line on this RSI that was forming. It does appear that if this momentum can increase, then you could very easily see this RSI come and take out all of this, and for price to at that stage just completely go parabolic. There is the potential for that to happen, but we do have bearish divergence on this chart if you do like to trade these oscillators, even though they're pretty lagging, and it will be price that tells you what these are going to do. I would not be wanting to take a trade based off of this divergence until I see confirmation, and confirmation for me would be basically taking out 48k again and managing to confirm that as a resistance before possibly getting a move back down. So yeah, I think that covers the higher time frames on this. We can take a look on XO charts, and we can have a look here once again at our single prints. So what we had over the weekend, and we talked about this on the live stream on Saturday, was that single prints, okay, you don't have to fill them, and it doesn't mean that these are bearish. When you hit them, they are longs. So if you make these inefficiencies, this is showing trapped positions, trapped shorts, you will get buying pressure here with them trying to get out. You come down, you get a bounce off of the top of the single prints, you come down once again, you hit perfectly the bottom of them, perfectly, before getting a big bounce out of this. So not only do we take this liquidity, we just go through to the bottom of these single prints, and these are not, when we're in an uptrend, these are not to be seen as something to be coming down and filling and rolling back through, okay? They are trades to take in the direction of the trend. Once again, we do have single prints that have formed down here at the top of this initial balance. We had the initial balance that was put in, immediately got a move higher, and once again, this does look like a trending day that we do have up here. But single prints need to be, at least at first attempt, trade it with the trend, okay? So yeah, everything on the TPO, on the market profile, is still looking very constructive. We can see here that we do have, yeah, very, very just consistent buying going on. That's all I can say really. We're just getting a lot of buying, and it's very good. We can see all of this selling. There was aggression coming into this sell on the move down. That will certainly have trapped shorts. That will certainly have trapped short positions down here and would have shaken out a lot of traders. You can see on this point, this is on Binance. Let's have a look at Bybit. This is what we like to chart. You can see on this move down a lot of negative delta when we were coming down here, okay? So we're seeing 60 million negative delta on a 260 million candle down here before getting that bounce. So again, we're just, a lot of people trying to short this move and not getting paid for doing so. Yeah, they just consistently keep getting trapped every time. So yeah, everything at the moment at this stage still looking bullish, but this is the thing, you've got to be careful, and I keep saying, I think I've said it a few times in this video, I would not want to be overexposed in long positions. However, we are in an uptrend, and you've got to trade this as an uptrend whilst we are in it. Let's have a look at Ethereum as well. So we have come down into this weekly level on Ethereum. We did drop below, and actually this is typical of Ethereum, okay? It rolled down at about pretty late last night, actually, this looked as if it was going to go down to this daily level, and this is what Ethereum always likes to do. You've got a weekly level on this chart. This is like important to hold. Very close to the weekly close last night. We were a few percent below that. Okay, a couple of percent below that. We were down here, and then suddenly get this move up right at midnight. Okay, just before the daily open, just to get that close around this weekly level, and just to make people think that we're thinking, okay, Ethereum's lost hope again at this point, at least on the Bitcoin pair. It got that move up and pretty much got that close right around this weekly level, and then looks pretty good again today so far. So altcoins continuing to look very nice. Ethereum getting that close, that important close, and more importantly, if this is closed down here, then I would have been looking for bigger moves down on the ETH-BTC pair. But the fact that it did get this close around this weekly level still looks pretty good to me for the, well, this basically this long-term trend that we're going through on Ethereum right now. Again, ETH on the US dollar pair, still in this resistance zone. Okay, we have come up into this daily level, this 3,377 area. This was the level that was on our charts. We have come up into there. So again, you're not really wanting to be overexposed into long positions here, but it does look pretty healthy at the moment. You can see once again, we're just consistently making these higher lows, higher highs on this at this stage. And ETH may be a little bit more in a range here, kind of upsloping slightly. But this really being the last major point of resistance on this chart, again, before we see, you'd have to say before we see all-time highs. We can have a look on the fixed range here. We can pull this from our highs, and you can just see the void that's above us. We can pull this from the, well, let's take it back down here. Here's the big range that we're in. We do have a high volume node up here around 3,930-ish dollars. We do have this daily level up here at $4,180, but really not a lot of resistance left on this chart. And with ETH-BTC still looking quite good. Yeah, you'd have to say at the moment it's an uptrend, the same as Bitcoin. Until we get confirmation of this moving down, it does still look very bullish. So yeah, very good on that. Litecoin came down into our daily level. Okay, so this was the next opportunity that we were looking for. We were looking for this move down onto this daily level. So let's zoom in a little bit and take a look at this on the 4-hour chart. We did have that move into the daily level, test it as support, and we have had a nice bounce off of that. That bounce came in to our golden pocket resistance, but it is importantly holding at this point, and we would now be looking at this 4,050 sats, this monthly level, being the next resistance on the LTCBTC chart. Again, Litecoin uptrend. Okay, everything uptrend. We've made another higher high again overnight here, so this still looks very good. And you can see once again how these major horizontal levels are acting as key support and resistance on the way up and on the way down. So holding the weekly, losing that, coming in, testing this untapped daily level, get the bounce, test the weekly again, and we're moving higher. So really, really nice simple levels to be trading on Litecoin once again. Link very similar. This is a bit of a higher time frame kind of thing, so I won't look too much into that. And DOT is through its major resistance as well. So we did have this daily level. We were looking at that daily level as the major resistance on DOT, and we have had that confirmed. Well, yeah, we've taken out these highs. So again, looking pretty good across the board here on all of the altcoins as well. So yeah, anything else moving today? It's a pretty much Bitcoin being the main thing this morning, with the alts just trying to keep up really. I think the altcoin weekend fun is over, and then we've seen, of course, after the altcoin weekend fun comes the Bitcoin pump. Get back a bit of dominance, and let's see where this can go from here. Okay, on the anything on just a very low time frame that we can be looking at on this chart, not particularly. You would be looking at this stage. Let's see how 50k holds. It's a big important psychological area. Nothing too technical around here, but yeah, important if we are going to see this move up towards this 51,335 area. You would like to see 50k hold. If we do get a move down onto this weekly level, I would expect a bounce off of there, though, at the very least. However, that would take us back into an old range, which then does give us the opportunity to see resistance here and possibly get a change of market structure to the downside. So that would be mainly the only route really that I see of getting some good shorts would probably be if we do come down here, fill these single prints, get a bounce and then get held below 50k again, then it could give sorry, this as a confirmed like take liquidity above 50k before we do roll over and start to look at the short side. We'll have to monitor that because we do know at some point this will retrace, but yeah, where that's going to be we do not know just yet. The other thing we have, which is quite nice, okay, is, and I have just drawn this on this morning, again, we do not know if the high is in. I would say it's probably quite unlikely at this stage that the high overall for this trending move up is in. But if we do take our last major like low, okay, down here before we get that really big impulse higher, if we do get that, we will have this confluence with our golden pocket and this monthly level. I think this would take longer than the rest of the month to play out, but we would have this confluence of a new monthly level that would not have been tested as possible support around here down at 450-ish kind of area. Okay, so possible support if this does start to roll over. More locally, we can be looking at, again, you would not want to see price come down here. If it does, this high is now significant, so if we do start to see this roll over, yes, look for longs, but I wouldn't necessarily be looking for those to then break up to all-time highs. I do think we'd see significant resistance once again back here at 48 if we do come down into any of these local or more local support zones. Okay, so at the moment momentum is building, okay, at least on the short term. We are seeing these smaller moves down and these faster moves up. We're seeing this really get kind of squeezed here, possibly a bit of a wedge, but not really on this chart. So yeah, interesting price action, a lot of stuff to be trading, but scalp shorts and let your longs run basically at this point until we do have confirmation that this is going to move back in the other direction. I don't think there's anything else for me to go over on this video. Thank you for watching, and yeah, I'll update everyone as price progresses throughout the week. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. Cheers, bye.